Federal government decries rising cases of land grabbing, urges media to embark on mass awareness campaigns. Clergyman calls on President Buhari to end incessant strikes by ASU orders. On the foreign scene, Ukraine to hold peace talks with Russia as Italy closes its airspace to Russia flights. Good evening and welcome to News Round on Impact Africa Television, IETV. I am Bolabo, famous call. The federal government says it is coordinating with foreign nations both in Russia and Ukraine to evacuate Nigerians back home to safety. In a statement today, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, said aside from Russia and Ukraine, the federal government is also working together with Nigeria's foreign missions in Poland, Romania, and Hungary to evacuate its citizens. Onyema further reaffirmed that the federal government is committed to ensuring the safety of Nigerians who chose to stay back in Ukraine. The minister expressed concern over the needless loss of life and destructions, even as he reiterated Nigeria's recognition of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Onyema, who denied that Ukraine border guards are hindering the exit of Nigerians, affirmed that the guards have been instructed to allow all foreigners to leave. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo today departed for Arusha in Tanzania to attend the formal opening of the 2022 judicial year of the African Court for Human and People's Rights. Osinbajo has been designated as the guest speaker at the inaugural event, which will be attended by leaders from across the continent and beyond. The Vice President is expected to speak on the theme "The African Court and the Africa We Want." The African Court on Human and People's Rights was established to provide a forum for interaction with member states' key judicial authorities, intergovernmental, semi-governmental, and non-state actors, exchange of ideas and reflection of the work of the court for the year. The court will also enhance the protective mandate of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights by strengthening the human rights protection system in Africa. The event is a means of enhancing the visibility of African Court and engaging as many stakeholders as possible. It will be recalled that the court had in 2015 resolved to convene a solemn ceremony at the commencement of the first of its 4 sessions of each year to mark the official opening of the judicial year. The Senate has called on the federal government to declare all known leaders of terrorists wanted. The call was made following a motion considered on the urgent need to stem the increasing spate of kidnappings and insecurity across parts of the country. Moving the motion, Senator Bala Ibim Nahala harped on the urgent need to surmount all kinds of kidnappings, banditry, and related security challenges in Kebbi State. Nahala noted with concern the current rise in security challenges in the state and across the Federation. He further attributed the problem of insecurity to the growing number of out-of-school children, practice of early marriages, and abject poverty in the north, even as he called on the federal government to apply policies to curb the trends.
Security agencies, we have faith in them. And to be honest, they are doing a good job with what we have been able to give. We have not given enough. Some of them die. Some are maimed in the process. Even if we are not getting the outcome that we want, we should continue to encourage them and push. We have had a series of discussions on security and the need to review the security architecture. We should continue to insist on this until we get the kind of outcome that will safeguard the lives and property of Nigerians. The stuff that if urgent step is not taken and a decisive action is not taken to curtail the security situation, the situation may further deteriorate into a very huge humanitarian crisis for the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and in particular, the government of Kebbi State, Niger, and neighboring Zamfara. Accordingly, the Senate resolves to call on the federal government and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria to deploy massively the military and other law enforcement agencies to conduct a rigorous operation that will bring an end to the banditry and cattle rustling in the affected area.
Still on security matters, security experts have called for a concerted effort in ending the high rate of banditry and other numerous social vices that has rendered many Nigerians greatly delusioned. They made their opinions known in a chat with Ayodele Fakeye. The report.
The alarming rate of banditry and kidnapping across the country has continued to raise concerns to many Nigerians. This is especially so as reports say some bandits commit murder while also sending letters to some communities in Zamfara state to ask for levies or face deadly attacks. Lending his voice to the development, a security expert, Dr. Shala explained that banditry has been a recurring decimal, stressing that the attitude of Nigerian leaders to the high rate of insecurity in the country is disheartening.
I don't think it's a new thing for bandits sending letters informing the communities that they are coming. I mean, if armed robbers have been doing that, what is the difference between armed robbers and bandits? It's because we are not able to control armed robbery. That's why it has graduated or generated into bandits taking over. And if they can kidnap people for weeks, for months, and government couldn't do anything in terms of rescuing the people and stopping them. So naturally, the country is not, I mean, has turned to what it wants to turn into, okay? Because already we are gradually becoming stateless.
Also speaking, another security expert, Dr. Funmilayo Agbaje, said it is unfortunate that banditry has become a lucrative business in some parts of the country. She added that statistics on insecurity cases as well as banditry keep increasing on a daily basis.
When you have bandits writing letters to communities, the letter itself is much more powerful than the gun or the machete or whatever, you know, they will be bringing to attack that community because the fear has been created. But obviously, it's fast getting, you know, beyond what the government, you know, can handle.
They nevertheless said with the current state of insecurity, there is an indication of the country being a failing state.
We have not failed completely, but we are failing. Nigeria is a failing state, as we have mentioned, because the level of lawlessness has gone beyond normal.
Yeah, it's not a failed state. Even though we are bombarded with all forms of vices that may lead us into becoming a failed, you know, state, I still have the belief that Nigeria is not a failed state yet. There is still hope for Nigeria.
The experts likewise called for a concerted effort in curbing banditry and other forms of insecurity in the country.
The government don't embark on deliberate plans to mop weapons from the civil society. There's no way we can be secure in Nigeria. So let us take this as a priority.
The first thing that we can do is to engage in what we call local security. Of course, we have some, like we talk of vigilantes, Amotekuns, and all of that.
It is important to state that governments at all levels have a responsibility to adequately secure lives and property of its people. Ayodele Fakeye, ITV News.
The federal government says it is ready to provide job opportunities for no fewer than 5 million farmers in the country. The Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, Kashifu Nuwa, made this known at the closing ceremony of a 5-day digital farming training to students in Abeokuta. Nuwa affirmed that the federal government remains committed to developing the agricultural sector with digital technologies. According to him, these technologies will increase productivity, improve food security, and encourage youth to venture into agriculture. And Nuwa explained that the agency, through digital farming, has planned mass agricultural program with 20,000 to 100,000 of new farmland in each state across the country. He said that the development is part of the federal government's commitment to creating jobs for Nigerians and developing the nation's economy. Enowa pointed out various initiatives of the federal government, such as the Nigeria Economic Sustainability Plan and the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy of the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, and said initiatives will create 5 million job opportunities directly and indirectly, spanning the entire agricultural value chains from the farm to the table. The federal government has appealed to the general public, particularly Lagos State residents, to always verify all lands with state and federal government agencies before purchase in order not to fall victim to land grabbers. Speaking with newsmen today, the Federal Controller of Housing in Lagos State, Margaret Adejobi, said the land grabbers deliberately encroached and sold off gazetted federal government lands in Lagos State. Adejobi also called on the media to embark on mass awareness campaigns against land grabbers in the state. According to an earlier media publication that saved several prospective buyers of land from the fraudulent activities, she appealed to the media to continue to educate the people, adding that the problem of land grabbers is becoming overwhelming. The Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, Reverend Ignatius K. Gama, has called on federal government to listen to the agitations of the people and intensify efforts to put an end to the incessant strike by Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the lingering fuel scarcity across the country. Speaking in Abuja today, the clergyman urged the leaders not to ignore the voice of the people. According to him, Nigeria will achieve greater progress when the leaders truly listen to one another in mutual respect. Kegama, who faulted some leaders for politicizing the challenges facing the country, said many who occupied leadership positions lacked the disposition to make such offices function properly. In another development, Nigerians have faulted the proposed life pension for presiding officers in both chambers of the National Assembly in the ongoing amendment of the 1999 Constitution. Speaking with IBR's Taiwo Olariwaju, they described the move as another way to siphon money.
Assembly has proposed a life pension for its presiding officers in the ongoing amendment of the 1999 Constitution. Going by the proposed amendment, the Senate President, Deputy Senate President, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives will now enjoy life pension when they leave office. However, civil society organizations, among which we have the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, are opposing the proposed life pension for principal officers of the National Assembly. Speaking on the development, a legal practitioner, Oluwatobi Fatoki, decried the situation whereby lawmakers now make laws in their own interest. Oluwatobi called for the scrapping of such laws, adding that they are not needed at this time. Oluwatobi also faulted the move by the lawmakers, adding that national interest should come first and not self-interest.
I think this is not needed at this stage. I think this is uncalled for because as of today, if you go into the memory lane down to date, we know that Nigeria is in big debt crisis. We have a whole lot of debts that this regime can't even pay off, and the debt profile of Nigeria keeps piling. And now you are proposing a kind of what's it called? A kind of life pension for these office holders. I think it is uncalled for, and because we don't have that resources, we must be able to separate selfish interest from national interest.
Also speaking, a political analyst, Kunle Adebiyi, said Nigerian lawmakers only make laws which serve their self-interest. Adebiyi noted that the proposed amendment will have a great implication on the economy.
These people are there on their own volition and try to siphon Nigerian money. If not, those people that serve for 35 years, have they collected their pension? Have they collected their gratuity? Soldiers are there, police are there, civil defense are there, immigration, custom, they are there, receiving nothing. And those people that are earning the largest sum of Nigerian budget are still clamoring to be paying themselves a life pension. Well, God will judge. We have a very negative impact on our economy. Seriously, even the amount they are collecting, the remuneration for now in the House of Assemblies is still telling Nigerian economy now, not to talk of when they are now collecting pension again.
Another concerned stakeholder, Chimo Akonde, reported the move by the lawmakers, adding that it is a way to siphon money.
What of those who serve 35 years? Yeah, they haven't collected anything. Those of you serving 8 years want to be receiving life something. Don't they know that there are some Nigerians who are not collecting anything? They will never think of that. They will be thinking of themselves alone. We have bad people representing us. They are greedy people. So who are the people destroying the economy of the country? Are they not the one? How much are they earning? First of all, think of that. Now they want to retire after 8 years and at the same time be collecting life something. Some of them are already retired personnel from the ministry and so on and so forth too, and they want to start collecting another money again. Nigerians are saying no, they should not talk about that at all.
They maintain that the proposed life pension will amount to a gross injustice and double jeopardy for millions of pensioners across the country who have been denied their reward for service. It will be recalled that the planned life pension for principal officers was first proposed by the 8th National Assembly under the leadership of Bukola Saraki in 2016. Taiwo Olanrewaju, IATV News.
Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State says Nigeria's leadership should be based on merit towards bringing everybody on board. Speaking with newsmen shortly after meeting with former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Abeokuta, Mohammed said the People's Democratic Party is rebuilding the party in order to reinstate unity among the people.
Optimistic. To me, presidency is a consensus. It's stakeholding and statesmanship. It's responsibility. Of course, every Nigerian should try, if he can, to contribute his or her quota to the growth and development of the nation, especially now when leadership recruitment should be based on merit, should be based on making sure that we bring everybody on board to reduce the spate or manifestation of separatism, feeling of disillusionment and disgruntlement, feelings that are capable of dividing us further. Nigeria is too large and too important to be ignored. Some of us have benefited so much. It is not about me and my aspiration, it's about the country. Well, it is not, because each party is trying to strategize, is to plan to make sure that if they zone their candidate to the south, it is open to us to see whether if we zone to the south, it is going to give us more electoral victory, or if we put it in the north, it will give us more electoral victory. Certainly, that is the kind of thing we are doing, the legwork, the articulation, the permutations, and so on and so forth, so that at least whatever we are going to do is to make sure we provide Nigerians the opportunity to choose in between best alternatives. But we are rebuilding our party to remove rancor, division, and what have you. We still need him, and his words of wisdom are always very, very useful. And so I came and sounded his opinion on some of the things we want to do in the party to close rank and to make sure that we provide Nigerians the opportunity to rescue Nigeria from the present division and rancor that we have found ourselves in. These are the two main reasons why I'm here.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Mayokun Lawson Alade, as the winner of the by-election in Akure North-South Federal Constituency of Ondo State. Speaking at the state headquarters of the commission, the returning officer for the election, Deji Ogunsheni, announced that Lawson Alade won the election after polling 26,379 votes. The returning officer also disclosed that the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Olumiyiwa Adu, scored 24,201 votes. Ogunsheni further reaffirmed the commitment of the commission to a free and fair exercise. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission has expressed its readiness to conduct free, fair, and credible elections in Osun State come July the 16th. This was disclosed in Osogbo during a roundtable discussion with Osun State Resident Electoral Commissioner Abdulgani Raji and relevant stakeholders. Raji said the meeting was focused on the background review of election in Nigeria and responsibilities of different stakeholders towards the success of the exercise. According to him, 620,000 people have registered online, while 250,000 have completed their registration in the state. Raji also disclosed that the Commission has received non-sensitive materials for the election as efforts are ongoing to employ 25,000 ad hoc staff.
We are fully prepared. We have taken delivery of the materials that we need for election, except for the sensitive materials. And we are putting all other processes in place to ensure that we have a smooth election. All we are soliciting for is for the cooperation of the entire people of Osun State. We have several polling units, new polling units, that are yet to be populated. We want everybody, whether they registered now or they had registered before or they registered newly, to transfer to those new polling units. They are closer to their places of abode than the existing polling units.
Just as INEC has been improving on the use of technology and this has had consequence in the process of election, so also the media, so also the civil society organizations are improving in the adoption of technology in their participation in the electoral process. All of these have warranted that there is a need for us to continue to have exchanges that will help us understand the space where we are going to operate ahead of the coming election.
As the Osun State gubernatorial election draws near, stakeholders have called for a peaceful, fair and free elections which will ensure a true democratic process. They made the call today in a chat with IBR's Ayodele Fakeye. The report.
The Nigerian polity has begun experiencing a series of significant changes, especially in the political space. This is as there are permutations regarding the primary elections of Nigeria's two major political parties, the ruling All Progressives Congress and the opposition People's Democratic Party, in the run-up to Osun State 2022 gubernatorial election. As Osun State indigents prepare to troop out to vote for a governor come July, some concerned citizens, Oyegbile Temitayo and Matthew Johnson, believe that the election may not be ridden by violence. However, there may be intra-party conflicts.
I don't think there is going to be substantial violence there, although there is a tendency of having a pocket of violence in the state because of the problems amidst the political warlords, especially the intra-party problem.
Although that there's no election in Nigeria that is going fair. I mean, as regard what happened during a primary election, I mean APC primary election, we all knew that what happened then was gun-shooting here and there, and nobody will voluntarily come out to come and vote.
They nevertheless called on the government to ensure a peaceful and credible election.
My greatest advice for them is to allow peace to reign, because development cannot only occur in the atmosphere of peace. And they need to understand one thing, that people's interests need to be above their own personal and individual interest.
Our government should enforce security personnel, make more security personnel to be available that very day, so that people will still come out and vote.
Also speaking, a public affairs analyst, Femi Babalola, said if the parties comply with election law and procedures, Osun State's gubernatorial election will be devoid of violence and as well be credible.
We should be expecting something very good. There are two mature political parties, APC and PDP. We shouldn't be expecting fiscal for any approval pandemonium from that state. We believe and we have it in mind that no matter what, one of the party must produce the next governor. And so far we know that we have guidelines that have been given to us, perhaps from the electoral bill, which are going to be signed tomorrow. We are going to follow it to the letter. And I still more believe one thing, that if politics is all about serving people, there is no need for any individual to kill either A or B. So we believe that if you can follow the tenet of democracy, the election will be free and fair. There wouldn't be any problem.
On his part, another public affairs analyst, Adesumbo Badejoko, said there are indications that the election will be in favor of the incumbent governor, Gboyega Oyetola, stressing that it will be devoid of violence.
In the election itself, we'll wait till we see the PDP candidates before we can say, okay, this is how the election will turn out to be. But if I'm going to predict, it is not easy to unseat an incumbent governor. So that is, and the man appears to be a bit popular. He has been able to work his way around some of the unpopular policies of the former governor, and he has used that to his advantage to gain popularity on his own person. The method that INEC is currently using has been curbing violence in a way. If we do not have violence, we did not have violence in Anambra, I don't foresee any violence in Osun State.
It will be recalled that the electoral body had announced July 16 as the date for the Osun State gubernatorial election. Ayodele Fakeye, ITV News.
We're going to break now. News Run returns shortly after this. Do stay with us.
Welcome to Adelayo Academy, an astute citadel of learning dedicated to raising future leaders.
Adelayo Academy, a co-educational school with day and boarding facilities, is committed to instilling virtues needed to make a headway in life.
Our science laboratory is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities that makes learning very easy for students.
Our teachers are highly trained and up to the task of passing down knowledge in the most easy-to-learn ways. As you all know that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, our playground is top class and we take physical health exercise very importantly. Located in a very conducive environment in the heart of Ibadan at Adelayo bus stop, Alagba Wakajaye, Iyano Church.
Adelayo Academy is the best option when it comes to giving your words a quality education.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Mommy, Daddy, I want to attend the Adelayo Academy, please.
Thank you. This is the school we have been looking for.
Admission form is obtainable at the school premises, Adelayo Academy, Wakajaye Yano Church, Ibadan, or Impact Africa Television, IATV, Impact House, Kolapo Ishola Estate, Yano Church Road, General Gas, Akobo, Ibadan. You can also visit the school website on www.adelayoacademy.org or call 0805 947 9449 or 0706 091 0776 or 0810 965 2215. You can also call 0805 527 5583. Adelayo Academy, developing character, competence, and confidence.